coming up on Outdoor Oklahoma.
Deer hunting, and all of this is about learning, and you have to learn along the way, and this teaches you all in one place.
Okay, and can you hear that? Can you hear the bone? I'm on the backbone, okay?
You look at the spot that you want deer to hit.
Flavor that comes out of that first bite. You get that rosemary right off the top. Oh, you got him! You got him, Emily!
Oh!
Nice mess of Bluecat we have right there.
Ready!
Now folks, this is what we're after. This is what you get in Outdoor Oklahoma.
Outdoor Oklahoma is brought to you by the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation, sharing the beauty, the adventure, and the spirit of Oklahoma's wild places.
Most hunters remember their first time in the woods. They usually had a mentor, a dad, grandfather, aunt, uncle, someone to show them around. But for a lot of folks, that traditional mentor isn't there. They often have to take a different path, a self-led path. It means learning through a long, sometimes frustrating, trail of trial and error, piecing together information from across the internet and hoping for the best.
I started very differently in hunting, in which I didn't have the traditional mentor that took me to hunt. I kind of was self-led into hunting and learned through a long path of information, like at deer conference, from other people and experiences, and now it's led me to be a seasoned deer hunter.
Whether you are staring down your very first season or you're a seasoned veteran trying to figure out how to take your game to the next level, you don't have to walk that long path alone. There is a single place where the entire spectrum of Oklahoma deer hunting comes together under one roof.
This is my first year at this conference. I just started hunting 2 years ago, and I got my first buck last year. And there's such a wealth of knowledge on the internet, but I found that I really appreciate the opportunity to come and learn face to face.
Think about that whole gamut of what you face when you step into the woods. Where do you set up? What should you wear? How do you take that perfect shot? And once the deer is down, what do you do with the meat? Instead of spending years figuring it out by yourself, you can learn it all in one day, all in one place.
So this is our 8th year of hosting this conference. It started out 8 years ago at H&H gun range when we had about 25 people show up. And it's evolved into an all-day event where we have about 300 people show up.
What makes this event truly unique is the crowd itself. It crosses every demographic line. It's multi-generational, where you can pick the brains of old-timers who have tracked big game across Oklahoma counties for years, right alongside people holding their very first deer license. And one of the fastest growing spaces at the conference is the dedicated women's breakout session.
I think a conference like this is so helpful because it is the whole gamut of things that you'll experience if you go deer hunting, from where to set up, what to wear, to how to shoot a deer, where to shoot a deer, what to do once you shoot the deer, and then what to do with the meat. So it runs the whole spectrum of deer hunting, and all of this is about learning, and you have to learn along the way, and this teaches you all in one place.
There are so many people that we've met and women that we've met here that just don't even have a resource to go to. They have a lot of questions, they're interested, and it's all about just exposing them to the resources that are out there, a safe space to ask those questions that you may be a little embarrassed about, and just to get to pick the brain of fellow hunters, because we all do it for the exact same reasons. And this is so centrally located. It's a great location this year.
Absolutely. And we're trying to get more women into the outdoors, so having a women's only breakout class keeps on getting bigger and bigger, so it shows you there's a big interest there, and something like this conference is catering to that.
there were so many amazing questions, from very entry level to experienced hunters, people who've never been in the woods, to women who have hunted their whole lives. And it was just great to hear the perspectives and the stories.
It's about creating a welcoming environment, a space to ask entry-level questions you might feel a little embarrassed to bring up anywhere else. Because at the end of the day, everyone in that room is there for the exact same reason: a shared love for the outdoors, wildlife conservation, and the thrill of the hunt.
If you've ever even wondered what it might be like or how to get started, come to the Oklahoma Deer Hunting Conference. There is something for everyone, and most importantly, you'll find encouragement to get out and do the thing.
Any question that you have, there is an expert here from all the different elements from start to finish. You got to come check it out.
Yeah, we have people that have never hunted before that are interested in taking up deer hunting, and we have people that have hunted for 30 or 40 years show up. So there's a gamut of people from brand new to the experienced hunter.
It's multi-generational. I love learning from the old timers, but I also had the privilege of going to the women's only session with the News 9 Lacey's, and that was really great to be around other women where we could ask questions openly and just support each other and talk about, you know, the joys and failures of hunting. So this has been so much fun, and everyone's so friendly, and I highly recommend it, and I will be back next year.
The reason I do it is I have this fear that my grandkids and my great-grandkids are not going to have the same opportunities to hunt and fish that I've had. That's the reason that I do it. If we don't get more people involved in the sports, then the sports are going to go away.
Here's the catch. Metro Tech facility caps attendance at 300 people. Last year, 290 eager hunters packed the room. This year is on track to completely sell out, so you need to act fast. Head over to oklahomahuntersandanglers.org right now. Look at the 30 breakout sessions, see the expert presenters, and secure your registration before the spots are gone. Bring an open mind, pick the brains of the experts, and leave with the absolute confidence you need to harvest a deer this fall.
No, I just welcome everybody to the OHA, come to the deer conference, bring an open mind, listen to our subject matter experts, and walk away with confidence that you can now go into the field and harvest the deer.
So we're going to start with the fish, girls. Okay, so you see this right here? This is the rib cage, all right? And the meat we want is basically from here all the way down here to right there. And right here in the middle of the back is their backbone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that knife, I'm going to cut down to the backbone. I'm going to turn my knife sideways and cut straight down the backbone and cut this whole slab of meat off right here. And then I'm going to fillet it off of the skin. Okay, all right, so I'm going to start my cut right here. Okay, and can you hear that? Can you hear the bone? I'm on the backbone, okay? I'm going to turn my knife sideways. I'm going to cut straight down the backbone, keeping my blade right above the anal fin right there. Okay, and I'm going to stop at the tail. I'm going to pull this way, and this is the piece of meat I want. If you feel here, you guys can feel that. You can feel it with your gloves. You feel that's bone. You feel that bone? Yeah. That means I got all the way down to the backbone. I'm going to take my knife, and I'm going to try to stay just above that skin. So when I get done, I don't have any meat left on the skin. I just have skin. Now there's one more step. Feel here? See that? That's the rib cage. You don't want to eat that. So I'm going to take my knife just on the inside of that rib cage. And now what I have left is a fish fillet. Okay, show you again.
Yeah, it's fun that we get to do stuff like this with them.
Yeah.
Start our cut right here.
I don't want to cut the fish.
You don't want to do it?
I don't want to cut the fish.
You want Kendall to try first?
Yeah.
Come on, Bones. Because we're going to start. See, feel the rib cage right here? So we're going to start the cut. I'll show you. I'll make a cut for you. Make the cut right there.
Go all the way to the
Yep.
thing.
That push down. Now go rock it forward just a little bit. Go ahead and keep pushing. I'm gonna help you do this side. All right, now we're gonna turn it sideways. Now you feel here touching that bone. Okay, now rock the knife forward just a little bit. Come forward, keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming, stop. Flip it over. Being able to teach them something new is, and that's what I do for a living. I love to do that. And so I had a great time with them today, and I hope they had a great time as well. Keep it like that right there. Keep going. Pull with your left hand. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Great. Take that fillet off.
I don't think you can tell the difference.
Hey, I've seen adult people that can't clean a fish anywhere near what you guys just did.
Belong to the state club, the Oklahoma Longbowmen. We have a traditional club here in the state that's a statewide membership. We don't have a home range, and McAlester Ammunition Depot has been nice enough to let us have a shoot down here in the summer the last 5 years. This is our 5th shoot. It's a traditional shoot only, and it aligns out with the type of hunting situation they've created down here. We set up targets, various targets, 3Ds and 2Ds at hunting type distances. And some, like this one right here, are kind of for fun. They're a little longer. We set up 28 targets with 3 divisions. We have a men's division, which includes all men shooters. We have a women's division, and we have a youth division, 13 and under on the youth division. We have grand prizes for each. We shoot a total of 28 targets, one arrow at each target. So we try to open it up to recurves and longbows, aluminum arrows and wood arrows, and self bows. On Sundays we have a self bow shoot tomorrow following this traditional shoot.
It's been probably 4 years ago that this Southern Plains archery bunch called us and requested a spot down here to actually hold their tournament, and we were glad to accommodate them. And this is the time of year we do our fawn census or deer herd classification, and this is the time of year when you can see a lot of bucks in velvet, and we just thought it would be a good PR deal just to let them see some white-tailed deer, you know, actually in velvet. And so we started these bus tours about the same time that they started the archery tournament down here, and it's really worked out well. It's, matter of fact, we get really more than we can accommodate, really, but we try to accommodate everybody. We try to give one Friday evening, one Saturday morning, Saturday evening, and one Sunday morning, and that'll accommodate about 200 people. And in the past, that's been a handling them, but it looks like today we may have more than we can handle as far as the bus tours. Sometimes if it's cool like it was yesterday, you have to kind of play it by ear on when the deer's going to be moving. And yesterday, and it was cool early, so we left early, and the tour lasted about 3 hours. But we seen deer constantly from the time we started till we come back. And they seen some awful good bucks yesterday, and I was a little bit disappointed this morning. We seen some exceptional deer this morning, but we didn't see the number we did yesterday evening. It seemed like probably they moved most of the night last night, and then right at daylight there was hardly nothing moving. When the sun come up, then they got some good pictures. They seen some deer, and for people to come down here, sometimes I get a little where I think I'm not seeing what I ought to, but to these people, they're not used to seeing these deer every day like I am, and it's really something for them to behold. It's really exciting for them.
You couldn't tell that it was a 3-hour ride. Everybody was pretty well pumped up.
That's great. How many deer do you think you saw altogether?
60.
More than that, about 18.
18 big bucks.
18 big bucks, and there were some twins.
There was probably between 215 and 230 deer that we saw. And I don't know how many real racked buck, but there was definitely 15 that would have gone over Pope and Young.
Seen 18 nice bucks, real nice. And just, how many you reckon? 70 or 80 does?
Yeah, probably 70, 80 does. And healthy does too.
Yeah, good shape.
It was quite something.
So you'd rate this deer herd here in pretty good shape?
Oh, geez. I don't believe there's a rating high enough for this deer herd.
You know? Was it a long ride?
Yeah, but it was fun.
Was it as good as Disneyland?
This type of archer are more dedicated to the sport. They're more artists, you might say. A lot of these fellas make their own bows, they make their own arrows. It's their total hobby. It's a year-round hobby for them, and you'll see some of the bows that they've got down here are exceptional quality, and it's just a different type of people. And it's not to say that all archers, aren't good people, because they are, but these are a people of a class of their own. They really are.
The technique of shooting an arrow instinctive is that you look at the exact spot that you want the arrow to land, and you concentrate on it. If you're shooting at a deer, the very best thing that you could do would be to pick out, the hair that you wanted the arrow to land on, if your concentration would go down that far. And if you do that with instinctive shooting, it doesn't matter how far away it is or what the degree of angle, the arrow will land there, or is, real close to it. And the stance is that the bow is canted, just at about that degree right there. And it's the same stance as shooting a shotgun. It's leaning your weight forward just a little bit, dropping your head to your shoulder just a little bit. And what happens is, by canting your bow and dropping your head, it puts your eye on the same plane as the arrow. If you shoot it straight up, with a bow straight up and straight up, what happens is you're looking at a plane that has to intersect someplace. So you have to either hold higher or lower for different yardages. But if you cant your bow and just lean forward and drop your head, shooting at that post. It puts your eye on the same plane, and you ignore the arrow and everything. Just you look at the spot that you want the arrow to hit.
1890s to the early 1900s, people were making their bows out of all natural materials. And that's basically what we're going back to on these bows, is using solid pieces of wood and either leaving the bows unbacked or putting a rawhide or a sinew back on them. And Basically what we do is just cut down a live growing tree, split it into what we call staves, and then from the split down stave stage we work them on down with a draw knife. Very little use of power machinery on the manufacture of these bows. You have to take the stave and go with the outer part of the tree, the part of the tree that has the bark on it, is the back side of your bow. And then basically we work down to one growth ring on the stave. We shape the sides and then we turn it over, and we bring the tiller or the bend of the limb in with a draw knife, wood rasp, and just scraping with a pocket knife, and then final sanding. Basically all you're striving to do is get the string on the bow to run through the center of the limbs and the center of the handle, and then you also have to get the limbs bending evenly on each side, more or less a matched pair of limbs from top to bottom. And this is done by just flexing the bow repeatedly and taking a little wood off here or a little wood off here until you get the bow to bending evenly. There's a lot of people now that are wanting to make their own equipment from start to finish and go out and harvest a deer with it. And on this particular type of bow, each individual can make any particular style he wants. He can put a backing on it, he can leave a backing off of it. He's basically making something to express himself. And anybody with just a little bit of talent at all and a lot of patience can start from scratch and make their own bow that will perform to hunt with.
You ready? All right.
Outdoor Oklahoma is produced by the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation and is proud to serve and be funded entirely by sportsmen and women and outdoor enthusiasts who love and appreciate all things wild in the great state of Oklahoma. Connect with us online on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube. Want to know more about the Wildlife Department? Visit us at wildlifedepartment.com. Thanks for watching.